a short tactical takeoff from the C17.
And the engines are basically Pratt & Whitney engines. They're virtually similar to the ones used on Boeing 757, and they produce an enormous amount of thrust, meaning they can take off in a couple of thousand feet.
And we do have a request from the displays here today. Just a reminder to people around the static displays who are in the crowd to please do not smoke around the aircraft. We've had a couple of instances today, so we've had an official request. Can we please not smoke around the aircraft on static display today?
He's in a good position, but certainly trying to move around and things like that. And if you drop anything, there's no floor, so it just goes down amongst the cables and things. So you got everything tied on, so you don't drop everything in the cockpit. But no, it's once you're in there and strapped in, it's fine.
And that feeling you had the first time you took the Spitfire up the flight?
Amazing. Just joining a club of very elite number of pilots around the world that have flown it. Most pilots would love to fly the aeroplane. I've been flying it now for over 20 years. And that sense of importance and responsibility still hasn't left me. And each time I look at the aeroplane, I realise how lucky I am to fly it and just to display to the public, show what past generations are brought in for the lifestyle we have today.
Big difference between an A330 and a Spitfire, right? There is.
Yeah, so
what's it like trying to take off and land with the thing?
It's not too bad. It's probably not the most conventional car around in the fact that as they developed Spitfire early on during the war and put bigger and bigger engines in, the airframe never really caught up. So the undercarriage geometry is the same as the early Mark 1 Spitfires, but we've got the bigger engines in them now, so to absorb that power, they have to put big...
Ladies and gentlemen, from your right, the High Alpha.
So what's it like refueling off a tanker?
It's quite tricky, but when the conditions are nice and smooth, unlike today, it would be relatively easy for the guys, but when it gets a little bit bumpy, a little bit turbulent, it is very, very tricky, especially as you can see on the left and right behind the wingman, there would be a hose out.
Protected mobility vehicles, small, faster, specialist tactical vehicles, which you can see them often drive out the back of the aircraft, which are required to meet the squadron's unique ground and combat roles.
It's so busy that there's minimal time to actually look at and enjoy the thing. Airshow flying is pretty intense. It takes a lot of concentration, and we practice to a level where the sequence just happens without even thinking about it. That comes down to all the training in the simulator and then practicing out in the airspace, including look at a crowd, because now you're performing in front of a heap of people, there's all that added extra pressure on you there as well. Got the gear down now, so here he's probably going to come down and get close to the ground. The gear down, he's probably going to give a little wave to the crowd, say hello to all the young boys and girls there.
So if you can wave back, please do so. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. Actually. There's got to be a smile on his face as he's doing it, surely.
Yeah, the flying and not flying, he's probably doing that.
So, I'm sort of wondering, is this expected? He's actually landing. Fighters still overhead on combat air control, and the Hercules will very shortly put the gas on, basically, and we'll accelerate down the runway. Yesterday, it is an amazing piece of equipment, just enormous. The capabilities of the C17 are outrageous. It can carry a tank, it can carry 8.
sorry to interrupt, Neil. If you look to your right, a camera opportunity here. We have the Mustang, the Spitfire, the Super Hornet, and the F35 in formation together.
Just before we get back to you, Neil, there is some heavy metal, some fast jets lining up on the right-hand side, and the Spitfire and Mustang aren't coming in from the right.
Right, so we're doing like a starting faster. As the airway sign, which you might remember. That was yesterday.
Oh, the racing there.
It's just a beautiful sight, isn't it, seeing these aircraft still around today. And if you do look to your right, you will also see on the runway we've got two F35s and two Super Hornets just lining up to taxi.
And of course we dedicate this Spitfire Combine to the last Battle of Britain fighter pilot, Group Captain John Allman Hemingway, known as Paddy Hemingway, who was an Irish fighter pilot who served in the Royal Air Force during the Second World War in the Battle of Dunkirk. This is amazing, the Battle of Britain, the
went straight to officer training school. Personally, at the end of high school, I didn't feel like sitting in the classroom for 3 to 4 years later, so I wanted to get straight in, and then I did exactly that. So direct entry at 18 years old, then went on to basic flying training on the CT4, and then I got to 2 FDS on the PC9, then onto the Hawk at 79 and 76 Squadron, before I went onto the Super Hornet No. 1 Squadron.
How long did that take altogether?
All together, 4.5 years from when I enlisted and got my commission to when I was a fully qualified pilot on the Super Hornet.
And what was it I assume, as a kid, this is what you always wanted to do?
I never thought I was smart enough. I always wanted to do it, but I never thought I would actually make it there. So it wasn't until year 12 that I actually sat down and had a good think about what I wanted to do in my life, and I realised that, hey, I can do this if I graduate high school, and I just apply myself would be my biggest point.
And what was your inspiration?
Honestly, it was flying Riverfire. Watching the pilots fly Riverfire in Brisbane. So Brizzy Boy, and then seeing the Super Hornet was just phenomenal.
And last year you got the amazing opportunity to fly that route as well.
I absolutely did. And so did the
But it can also move in a tactical role, and with the enormous reverse thrusters, destroyers and on a very short runway. You can land on an unprepared runway, you can land on ice, there's pretty much nowhere this thing can go.
What you see?